This white fungi growing on sycamore is oyster fungi. They are edible and they got white gills. They got a smell of fungi as well. I believe this one's called a porcelain. This is on a silver birch. This is a birch poly. It's got a number of uses. We can make little strips out of here now and use that as a first aid plaster. My preferred method is to dry it, and I get one of these. They come in different sizes, and this is for a razor strop for finishing my knife off now. So I'd need to harvest this and dry it and shape it to my hand like I've done this one. This is my birch poly razor strop fungus. We use this for cleaning our knife and re-edging it. We draw the knife across the back of the strop, taking away any micro burrs. You'll see my knife's a little bit dirty. I've just had some chestnuts, and that's what it actually does to the knife. I'll give it a better clean when I get home. The razor strop like this can obviously be used as a piece of cork. It's very firm and well dried. I've cut this to fit my hand, so all my skin and thumbs are underneath the knife when it's working, so there's no accidents. They grow in various sizes, and another couple of uses for these. You can make a plaster out of the live ones that has an antiseptic value. I could drill a hole, burn this, and it'll smoulder, so I can take fire with me. If you're a fisherman or fly fisherman, you used to put your hooks in this to keep them dry and stop them rusting. In the olden days when they had used ink and quills, they used to have blotting paper, and that's what this was made of. They used to blot it and then carry on writing. So it's been used for a long time. So this is birch poly or razor strobe. This is a parasol fungi. It has a vulva, a flaky stalk, a ring, white gills, a softness to it, a dome, a slight nipple, and a distinctive colour pattern. There's no particular odour to these, and these can grow very large. I'll see if I can find one. These are an edible species. Once you find one parasol, you can generally find lots. Here's one's a little bit more mature. You can see by the size of my hand how big they are. The stalks aren't worth eating, they're too fibrous. So we generally just eat the heads and pan fry them, using like their own little plates really. These are a little family of umbrella fungi. They're not edible, but they're always interesting to look at. Fungi amaze me in the minute detail. I'm going to zoom in on these. This tiny ridging for such a little fungi. It's late October now and we've had some rain, so there's a lot of fungi about now. But I always find them interesting to look at. But this is the umbrella family. I don't know its specific name. It has a little nipple. It looks like an umbrella, that's why it comes from that name. Not edible to my knowledge, but they're always interesting to look at. Always been opportunist. We're walking along now and we're coming across this big fungi. It's a bolete, and all boletes have a spongy underside. Now out of all the boletes in the world, or in the UK anyway, there's only two what's poisonous. The devil's bolete would have a red stain here, and we also got the copper one, which when we rub the flesh there, it turned a sort of blue quite very quickly, like it'd be turning now. So this is an edible species, and this is like a penny bun. Real nice eating, so this one's for the pot. We found some boletes earlier on, penny bun, and I talked about a devil's bolete, and I found one here. It's a lot redder on the top, but they can be brown. But this is the bit we're looking for, is the red stain in here. This is a definite poisonous one. But again, it has a sponge and spores rather than gills. If I scratch it, I believe it bleeds. a little. You can see it discolouring it with the oxygen now. So this is a sure sign of a poisonous fungi. Whenever I handle fungi, it's a good idea to wash your hands anyway, but particularly with species like this, so you don't take anything in when you're eating or having a cigarette or having a drink. But this is the one to look out for when collecting billets. Spores and a red stained base and stalk, and it discolours really quickly. This fungi is it's fly allergic. Usually it has white spots as well. See them on coffee cups and teapots when they are got the pixie sat on top. They're supposed to be hallucinogenic, but I'm not into that sort of thing. But it's Amaryllis family. So they should have, see if I can zoom right in, very white gills. And usually a ring, but sometimes the ring does wash off in the rain, which this has. It also got a smell of potatoes, but as I know it's poisonous, I'm not going to put it close to my face. But this is one of the deadliest to look out for in the woods. A little story about the fly allergic is it's one of the few fungi what can grow in snow and frosts. And in Lapland, they're traditionally fed to the deer. And I'm sure the people what are herding the deer out there with nothing better to do have made teas out of this and drunk it. And evidently it gives you a feeling of flying, but with the red and white, and the feeling of flying, and surrounded by reindeer. I think that's where the legend of Father Christmas or Saint Nicholas come from, but certainly to do with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer comes from. This is the Amaryllis family, and it's called the death cap. I can tell it straight away by its very white eggshell colour, and also its egg shape. It's very fluorescently white. There's the usual white gills. I'll zoom in on the inside. Very white gills, and this is where the ring's going to appear. Here, when it opens up. When it opens up, it's going to go with a slightly browner and almost a bad paint colour, white paint in the middle when it gets a bit more mature. If I can find one, I'll film that as well. It's also got a vulva at the base, which has come out here, and I've never understood why the mice eat it. This is mice marks, but this is one of the nasty ones to look out for in the woods. Deadly poisonous to eat. The thing is with most fungi, they don't taste bad. It's all toxicology. It reacts with the body chemistry, and that's it. It kills you over a long period of time. It destroys all your cells, but it'll only take a thimbleful, bite size, to actually finish you off. They don't taste bad, and that's where people eat a lot of them and ingest a lot of poison that way.